Mr. Speaker, to the motion.
To the motion.
The legal ramifications of this bill require the rigorous examination that only the Judiciary Committee is qualified to perform. House Bill 2002B encodes the mandates for insurers to cover gender-affirming surgery and includes a variety of cosmetic treatments. We just found out by email from the Department of Consumer and Business Services Director that the detransitioning will be covered, yet it's important to recall from the committee's discussion on the matter, the crafters of the bill specifically said if an individual perceives that if their gender does not align with their sex assigned at birth, they will receive sex reassignment surgery. But then later, if they decide that their original gender identity aligns with their sex assigned at birth, they would not be covered. During the committee's hearings, it was stated that individuals who undergo sex reassignment surgery are informed of the risk beforehand when they make that choice, and they would not receive additional surgery to detransition. Clearly, the crafters of the bill did not understand their bill. A legal setting like judiciary would be better able to examine such arguments and assertions. There would be full clarification that an individual's pursuit of medical care that aligns with gender identity, different than their sex assigned at birth, is only meant to go one way. If this was not the intent, judiciary could have ensured that the bill covered medical care for all individuals seeking gender-affirming care or detransitioning. What is more shocking is the fact that we are purporting to hide a minor's procedures from parents. If passed, our state laws would allow 15-year-old minors to ask for and receive permanent life-altering surgical treatments without parental consent or knowledge. A minor attempts to receive this care may be able to receive it without parental consent, but any of you who have ever had to take care of a child after a surgery know that operations do not heal overnight. A child who comes home after what the bill pretends to call a secret surgery will need to take pain medication and likely take time off from school for recovery. The common use of skin grafts from an individual's forearm to perform surgeries is far more apparent. If a physician performed a medically necessary appendectomy on my child, I would like to know. I would like to be aware of the out-of-pocket costs, the aftercare procedures, the projected recovery time. Excluding a parent from the process of receiving gender-affirming care is nowhere near in line with best practices for any medically necessary medical procedure. It drives a wedge between a child who needs intensive at-home medical care and a parent who has purposely left out of the loop by the government, not by doctors. Remember that the conversations in the Behavioral Health and Healthcare Committee claimed that patients who undergo sex reassignment surgeries and related procedures are aware of the risk. I can tell you with absolute certainty that none of my 3 college-age grandchildren possess the medical knowledge necessary to greenlight their own appendectomy, much less permanent reconstruction of their genitals. No serious legal examination of the prospect of hiding life-altering medical considerations from a child's parents would have made it past the watchful eyes of the Judiciary Committee. Legislation that legitimately seeks to help children deal with their body looks to centuries of common law that remains in place for a reason. Children do not have the knowledge or emotional maturity to consent to major surgeries. This is the principle that the Judiciary Committee could have highlighted prior to sending this bill to the floor, with a technical fix that brought children and parents together rather than driving them apart. The fact that this bill covers so many extensive topics has inexorably warrants increased scrutiny from judiciary. Alongside gender reaffirming care, House Bill 2002 regulates abortions, school-based health centers, contraceptives, federal qualified health care center expansion, education programs, protections for providers and individuals, malpractice insurance, licensing, healthcare facilities, and confidentiality. Each individual proposal would have truly benefited from separate consideration by more relevant committees. Their inclusion in the omnibus bill ensures that the bill cannot be properly analyzed by any one committee. The Judiciary Committee, at a minimum, would have been brought in to ensure that the many pieces of 2002 truly fit together. If this bill passes, an individual at the age of 15 or older may give consent without the consent of parents to receive an abortion. Anyone will have the right to be able to sue an agent of the public body if their right to an abortion is being violated. The moment we introduce litigation into a bill, we have an ethical obligation to refer it to judiciary. We can make good on that obligation and refer it now. Furthermore, before piling additional excuses for litigation onto poorly funded local governments, let's first call the mayors and school board members in our districts and ask their perspective on the unfunded liability of abortion lawsuits. They will tell you this is at the bottom of every funding request their communities will ever need by the end of time. At the same time, we heap this unfunded mandate upon our local governments. We're continuing to avoid ensuring that they have proper funding to implement the state mandates. School-based health care centers exist to provide specifically tailored health services to K-12 students. They should not be facilitators for secret on-demand abortions. The process for using school-based health centers to facilitate abortions, access for minors, also awkwardly shoehorns the heck into a role of governing K-12 education and health. Perhaps from a medical perspective, an agency that has education in the title would seem suitable to perform this work. A solid review by judiciary would provide a more appropriate system of interagency cooperation if it is insisted that the state of Oregon demands that underfunded schools become abortion service facilitators. If passed, this bill will require the Office of Rural Health to administer a program to provide a grant to 2 family health care centers located in rural and underserved areas of the state. These centers will offer reproductive health services. Once again, I urge you to think about the needs of local governments in my district, increased access to abortion, and other reproductive health services that will never be on a list of funding requests from rural local government leaders in Oregon. The legal benefits of establishing these 2 centers requires more legal scrutiny than the Behavioral Health and Health Care Committee could provide. As a legislative body, we are called upon to provide for the general welfare of our state. Oregonians look to us to build a unified society, one where residents respect each other and families are protected from division. I have seen few other bills so mercilessly intent upon dividing our society, mandating medical coverage for some while militantly opposing it for others, and ludicrously suggesting that major surgeries can be performed without parents' involvement. Oregon's families are cohesive forces for our society, and none of us should be able to consciously rip apart this fundamental right of humans. I urge the body to send House Bill 2002 to the Judiciary Committee so that this legislation proposal can receive the proper vetting and construction within the bill. If we want to make it pass, we need to send it back to Judiciary. Thank you.